Hey guys, it's Badfish. Welcome back to Gone Gaming, and of course, welcome back to the beautiful city, county. I don't know what we're considering San Pedro right now, but welcome back. I really need to name this city. So if you guys have any ideas of what you want this little city to be named that we're building right now, even if you haven't watched the series before, if you just got some names, I'd love to hear them. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tackling our low density residential housing. That's something that I've wanted to do for a little while now. So let's go take a look at what we're working with and scroll out a little bit here. So of course we already have our downtown built down here. It's looking pretty good. I think we might change it up a little bit, take out this building here. It's just a little too tall, a little too dark, and have it go a little bit better with the rest of the motif. But this is going to be our more built up downtown over here. And then as we move towards the outskirts, that's where our low density residential is going to be. So I think today we're going to start building it out. We're going to see where it goes, start filling things in at least bit by bit, and maybe doctor up and edit our skyline a little bit just to make that a little more pleasing to the eye. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a time lapse here in a second. Hope you guys enjoy the build, and I'll see you on the other side. So first order of business was definitely to get that giant garish skyscraper out of the way. I really didn't like the way it was looking. It just really cut up the skyline. I don't know if this makes sense or if anyone even looks for this or if it's just me, but I like to have my skyline have a bit of a flow to it, and that one just kind of big, protruding, and dark in the middle didn't fit with what was going on with this little town here. So I added a couple little brighter skyscrapers, a lot of like sheen glass ones. I think those are like really modern and make me think of the West Coast. And then now I'm just going through and editing a little bit of the outside, just adding some plazas and things, making it look a little bit more interesting than just plopping down the building. So through my experience making this video and any detailing I do in a downtown area like this, I find that deleting is your best friend. So skylines, when you paint the map with residential, commercial, industrial, what have you, it likes to pack them together very closely. And if you really think about downtown areas, or really any area in a city, the buildings, there's still space between them. It's not a ton of space, but there's still things in between them. So all I tried to do was some of these bigger buildings was kind of chop it up a little bit, leave these little plazas in between them. I'm adding a lot of these planters with the palm trees. I think it's just a nice kind of unifying theme for the whole city. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with those. So you're going to see me placing a lot of those down. I really like palm trees too. It might just be because I'm from the cold north and there's no palm trees up here. I think it helps me remember that tropical places do exist. Obviously can't be going to those right now, so gotta live vicariously, right? I think that's why I'm making a West Coast city too. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, I know some people are new to my channel. So San Pedro, I started with the original idea of making a San Francisco, LA, West Coast kind of themed city, and I wanted to challenge myself and make it detailed, or at least as detailed as I could make it. So I'm not claiming to be, professional in any sense or, really good at skylines. I just enjoy playing the game, and I think we made some cool stuff so far. So if you do enjoy it and you want to see more and more of me making cities and just some good conversation, definitely, remember subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, so San Pedro was more just to be kind of just a fun project for me to see what I could do, because I think skylines, I've dabbled in detailing here and there, but I've never really tried to make a city with the sole purpose of making it detailed. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. Thanks for listening to that little spiel there. So on screen right now, again, just adding some more interesting buildings here, trying to make things look a little cooler. So I got this sweet cinema, that's the Cube Cinema in Berlin. I think we mentioned that maybe last time, maybe not. It's been there for a couple episodes, but it's a cool little dude. It's got the nice Star Wars logo, or not logo, but poster and everything on it, so I enjoy it. And then whatever this building is, the other one, this like half pyramid kind of dude, I just put that guy in because I've never honestly seen a building like that. I think it was fascinating. I have no idea what it is, no idea what it actually does in real life. I think it might be a hotel, I don't know. But I thought it looked cool, so in it goes. And that's the beauty of this game. I can put whatever building in here I want, and no one can tell me otherwise. Well, I mean, except for you guys. You could tell me otherwise, whether I listen or not. Subject to debate, but I think it looks pretty good. So now just, again, adding more details. When it comes to downtown detailing, you're going to do a lot of the same stuff, honestly, because the buildings, let's be real, in downtown, the buildings are the detail. Seeing these huge buildings, that is kind of the striking part of this game and of cities in general. But you can always add a little bit more if you just think outside of the box a little bit. So right here, I noticed there was this little parking garage kind of entrance, so I decided to just put some markings down there just to make it look a little bit more believable. Again, I am not fully versed on all of the road markings or road language, so I just did what I could, put in some arrows, separated a little bit, put in a little guardrail so they don't run over people walking down these steps. And, I think it adds just enough detail. And then as far as thinking outside of the box too, I did over on this other side, you'll see me go there in a second once I realize this curve will never happen. I cannot get this to snap, cannot get it to fit. It would never happen. Let it go. It's okay. I'm still trying. Oh, this is hard to watch, guys. I'm sorry I left this in. That was just sad. Anyway, on the other side here, I decided to make, I guess, a restaurant, more or less. So obviously not a working restaurant, that'd be cool, but it is just some tables, chairs. I think I throw down a fence, just something to give it a little bit more life. So even if this isn't a hotel, I mean, if it's a hotel, a restaurant on the side makes total sense, but if it's not, even if it's like an office building or something, maybe this is, the employees want to go out and have lunch on a nice day. And I think that's the way I try to think about things too, is think about the buildings individually when you're doing this kind of detailing. Really helps tie it together. So what I try to do is, instead of think about, I'm making this big downtown, I want to do this, this, and this. While yes, I do have those thoughts, obviously I changed the buildings up for a reason and made it a little bit different for a reason. But then when you get down to the actual detailing, try to think about the building itself. I have this huge office park and I don't know what to put in it. Well, what would a business put in it? Maybe they'd put in some fields for the employees to go out and enjoy lunch. Maybe they'd put a little restaurant cafe like this. Maybe extra parking. Maybe it's, some places have basketball courts, or with, big buildings like this, maybe they have gardens, plazas, things to make it look even nicer than it is. So that was kind of my thought process going into this. I think I captured some good stuff, made some cool stuff as far as the buildings go. Let me know down below what you think and what your process is for detailing high density, because I think it is a little bit more of a challenge, because again, you don't have as much space to work with, so you got to be smart with how you use that space. But I think this ended up looking pretty good. As far as the building goes, again, I'm putting these planters down, gonna put some palm trees in them just to have that kind of unifying feature. And the thing with the palm trees too is they stick out so much against kind of the hard backdrop. So any foliage that you put in your high density area is almost amplified by, to the nth degree, because you're having it such a stark background with this green in, that you can actually do a lot of damage, I guess. No, a lot of interesting things, and make it look a lot more interesting just by putting down some trees. So as you can see over here, around this building, I just have them kind of outskirting it. It helps build out the plaza a little bit. I threw some benches in there too. I don't know if I'll ever see those benches again, if I'll go look at them or not, but they're there. If it ever shows up on a cinematic, all people sitting on my benches, it'll look good. So over here, same kind of deal, just making little plazas around everything. Surface Painter is your best friend. If you don't have Surface Painter, highly recommend it. Just to add a little bit more detail and texture, it really helps. So just putting down those trees, outlining things, trying to make this side. So my idea process too was I wanted everything south of the highway to be a little bit bigger. You know, there's downtown and then there's downtown. Downtown. Sorry guys. Yeah, so there's downtown and there's downtown. So I think what I wanted to do was have this be like the very big waterfront downtown. Then we're going to kind of have the midtown right next to the highway on the north side, and then that low density residential on the very end. And all of it, I think, ends up looking pretty good overall. And I like that kind of even growth, kind of that slope of growth in your city with the buildings. I think it ends up looking really good. So as you can see here, just putting down a forest to put down 5 trees. Nothing out of the ordinary there. That's gonna happen probably every episode you'll watch. And then just some more tiling and stuff. I've tried to match the tiling that was already with the asset on the other side. Again, just to make a cool little like area. There is some clipping with the concrete, but I actually kept it. I think it looked nice. It kind of looked almost like dirt or dust had blown over it onto, you know, this cobblestone area. So I kept it. And again, just adding a little eating, sitting area. This one is most definitely an office building, so I made this very uniform. I didn't put as much into it as the other one with, you know, the lamps and everything. I just put down some tables, had the umbrellas kind of go haphazardly. The reason the tables are so uniform and the umbrellas aren't, I don't know if anyone has ever worked or lived somewhere where you had outdoor seating like this and the umbrellas are movable, but if they are movable, I guarantee you one person will have like 6 umbrellas at, you know, surrounding their table, while like some other people won't have any. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know why we're like this. It's just the truth. So in here, we're just throwing in some more of these planters, adding in some more shrubbery that kind of fits the motif of what we're looking for. And again, it's another thing to outline this space. I didn't want to just leave the tiles running straight into the concrete. I didn't like the way that looked. But as far as the skyline goes, I think once we're kind of said and done with everything, it looks so much better than it did. It really comes together a lot better. It definitely, you can see that juxtaposition between the midtown and the downtown, which I really wanted to achieve. And we just have some, you know, more interesting looking buildings. Some of those buildings were super boring that we had in there. You know, they were vanilla assets. They were just not as detailed or not as interesting looking as these other ones. So adding a last few couple offices here, putting down those planters, putting down those palm trees, and just trying to make it look a little more unique, a little more interesting than it does, you know, at the beginning. And then over here, I kind of did like a little eye shape. I'm gonna have like I think this is the one that I put one right in the middle too. Maybe not, but again, just adding those planters around, keep a uniform theme. I think it actually is really powerful having that uniform theme throughout your downtown. It kind of ties together the city, because I mean, if you think about real cities, they're thinking about that kind of stuff. They're thinking like, what could be our trademark? And for San Pedro, I guess the trademark would be, you know, these big palm trees cutting through this stark city. So just an idea to kind of keep in the back of your mind when you're planning out your cities. What kind of unifiers can you have? What themes can you put throughout your city? That's one thing I'm learning helps a lot in the detail challenges, is what theme do I want? And especially if you have like a specific idea, like I really wanted this to be a American, you know, West Coast city. So when you think about that theme, try to do stuff within that wheelhouse, like palm trees, or you know, maybe I make some more desert areas outside, and I don't know, just try to think about things that can make it fit together more than just adding new buildings, I guess. So that's just gonna about do it for this time lapse. We're gonna head into a little bit of a live play section here, and then we're gonna tackle a little bit of our residential. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Hey guys, and welcome to our new and improved downtown for this little city we've been working on. Hope you enjoyed that time lapse. It was more of kind of a fine details thing than building, but I enjoy those. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys how that downtown looks show you what we added. So we took out that giant, huge orange building, added a couple of really cool ones. Still skyscrapers, not quite as tall, not absolutely massive, but good for this level of city. I think it blends in pretty good. I love this one. I think this Vero building is awesome. I love the top of it. I love whatever this like smokestack design thing, I don't know what it is, but I think that's just a beautiful asset. And I didn't think I was gonna love this blue one, but honestly, now that I'm seeing it, it reminds me of like old school pool tiling in a good way, if that makes sense. And then the Bank of Skylines, always good. Yeah, so I think that's quite an improvement just as far as aesthetics for the skyline. And of course, I'm really trying to use these trees, these planters with these trees, as kind of a unifying theme throughout the entire city. So I'm trying to use these to kind of have us, oh, I don't like that. So I'm trying to use the trees essentially to create a unified theme through the city, to get kind of, when you come into the city, people say, oh, you know, San Pedro is known for its palm trees or something like that. Maybe not known for its palm trees, but you know, when you go to the downtown, it's very clearly the downtown area, or it's very clearly San Pedro because you have all these palm trees and these planters. Some city planner really loved that idea and ran with it, whatever his name is. Definitely not Badfish. It's probably Badfish. So what I want to do now is start a little bit on building out our suburbs. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot. I will be doing a lot of plopping for this, so it's going to take a little while, probably be a little painstaking, so I don't know how far we'll actually get in this episode, but we're going to jump into another time lapse here, start working on getting some houses down. Don't know if we'll do too much detailing, as more is just filling in, but hope you enjoy. Ah, the suburbs. I always hated them. Seriously, I have never been one to enjoy making suburbs. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something I'm just missing. But suburbs and me are generally at odds. I actually think this is one of my better ones once it's all said and done. I think really the assets that I had made it. These are the American Eclectic houses. I think they're like one of the most subscribed house packs on the workshop. But they work great to fill up a good amount of space, especially in this grid structure we're doing. I think when it comes to suburbs, it does get a little bit harder for me because it's so much less uniform as far as the detailing. I think I also just need to get some more props to make it good. I mean, I've seen people who have detailed suburbs in vanilla that look worlds better than mine. So it's just something I got to work on. I have to work on more interesting road layouts in the suburbs too. So if you guys know any good tips for that, let me know down below. Or if you know any good videos, definitely make sure to link them. But I think when this is all said and done, it looks pretty good as far as a suburban area for this level of city goes. We don't do the whole thing obviously right now because I'm doing a lot of plopping, and I didn't want to make you guys just watch 30 minutes of me plopping house after house after house. So I think off camera I'm going to go through and add a good amount more, so the next episode won't just be me plopping houses. Unless you guys want to see that, don't know why you would, but if you do, let me know. And then over here I'm just making a nice little shopping area. Just using some of my different assets I have for commercial, spreading them out in new and fun and interesting ways, just to make it look a little better. Again, same principle applies here. Deleting's your friend. I think a lot of these commercial areas can get really cluttered with, honestly, crap. If you think about it, like in real life, you will have kind of standalone commercial buildings with their own parking lots, unless you're in like super downtown, super congested, they are going to have little spaces between them. There's going to be alleys, there's going to be back ways, there's going to be places for trash. They're not just going to be like, here's 18 fast food restaurants literally on top of each other. So when you're detailing, just try to keep that in the back of your head, like, oh, I shouldn't just have all these on top of each other. I should make little spaces. Even if you're doing the same thing, like you're gonna see me put down literally just parking lots right here, and it works because that's what would be there. It would be parking lots. You know, you don't need to always be out of the box to make your detailing good. Your detailing is a sum of all of its parts. It's not going to be one thing. It's not going to be, you know, oh, I'm going to make the most unique whatever right now. It's got to be, I'm going to make a bunch of mundane things, but I'm going to put them together in such a way that you can't ignore it. And I think that's more or less my philosophy behind detailing. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not the most creative man on the block. I'm just throwing some stuff down and riding with it and trying my best to make it look like what I envision a city would look like. And obviously getting inspiration from actual cities is huge. Helps you just kind of conceptualize a little bit better. So again, just putting down these palm trees, making a little bit of parking, just to make it a little less uniform. I do try to put some more palm trees down. They end up looking real bad the way they're spaced out, so I wipe those out entirely. But I think as far as the suburbs, I do want to work on my suburbs skills. I want to work on making, obviously this one's just a grid, so there's not going to be a ton of cool stuff I can do with it, but I think I want to eventually make some smaller towns on the outskirts. There's a big river system running through this map. I think some of the rivers I want to put little like river towns, and I do want to try to go with the terrain a little bit more, not just have these grid layouts. So that's something I'm going to try to work on and get my skills up before we tackle that. But I think with the right assets and with the right amount of time and patience on my end, which can be a little bit difficult, we can make some cool stuff. So I'm going through doing some light detailing on the suburbs. Most of these buildings actually come with a ton of props already, so I just going through and adding into some of this like empty space. I'm going to do this on some of the ones I put down off camera, but I can record my detailing process for this full suburbs. If you guys would like to see that, definitely let me know. I can put that up at some point once I get that completed. So yeah, just putting down different details. I like to think of stories, again, thinking building by building. So this one I put like a little faux beach down because maybe this dude loves the beach, so he brought it home. He bought some palm trees, put down some sand so he can tan outside. Or I'm gonna put another one down on a little bit that has like a rusted out car, or I might have already put down the rusted out car, but nope, I'm doing it right here. Cool. So this guy, he's working on his car, and I do have these little workers that I use for some of my industrial areas, so I put them right under the car there. Thought that looked good. But I think, again, storytelling is a big part of detailing a city. If you detail just to make things look pretty, you're gonna come out with some okay stuff. But if you could think of stories like the guy who lives there does XYZ, you know, this guy loves barbecuing, so he made himself a nice little patio. This guy loves fixing cars, so he has a broken car. Try to come up with stories, I guess. Try to think in your sim shoes, more or less. But this is gonna about wrap up this little time lapse. I know this was a shorter one. I didn't just want to show you me plopping down a bunch of stuff, so we're gonna go over to the cinematic. I hope you enjoy it. So that's going to do it for San Pedro today, guys. This has been Gone Gaming. My name's Badfish. If you liked what you watched today, please leave a like down below. If you want to see more, please consider subscribing. Have a good one.